Hello and welcome once again on the lecture series of course Elements of Machine Design. Today we are in the lecture number 12. In last two lectures we have studied regarding the designation of steel, how the steels are designated on the basis of mechanical properties and chemical composition. In previous two lectures we have seen designation of mild steel, high speed 2 steel, free cutting steels, low and medium alloy steel, high alloy steel and tool steels. Now let's move towards the next bit of the syllabus. Now in this lecture we will study the concept of fatigue, concept of cyclic stress and concept of endurance limit. What is the nature of SN curve, that is endurance strength, and number of cycles curve, how it is formulated. So let's start with the concept of fatigue. In simple language, fatigue is defined as a phenomena or process associated with variable loading. Variable loading means loading in which there is a change in load, that is tensile to compressive and compressive to tensile. That is known as the variable loading, or we can say cyclic loading or cyclic stress or straining of a material. That means if the material fails at a stress below the yield point stress, if we take the example of ductile materials, then we know that the yield point stress is the criteria for designing a ductile material. If the material is subjected to repeated stresses, or we can say a cyclic stresses due to the variable loading, that is tensile to compressive and compressive to tensile, then the material fails below the yield point stress value of that material, yield point strength of that material, then this type of a failure is known as a fatigue. Then we can say the material is failed due to the fatigue. That is the concept of fatigue. To understand the concept of fatigue, we will see one example. A fatigue loading is the type of a loading which causes cyclic variations in the applied stress. Now, what is meant by the cyclic variations? Hence, any variable loading, that is tensile to compressive or compressive to tensile, is basically a fatigue loading. Take the example of a simple shaft. A rotating shaft, the shaft which is rotating, when this rotating shaft is subjected to bending load, then it is a best example of reversible load. To understand this concept, that is the concept of reversible load, let's see. Consider the shaft in a fixed position. Take one shaft, consider one shaft which is in a fixed position, but it is subjected to bending load. Means a bending load is applied on that shaft, but shaft is not rotating. When we apply the bending load on a shaft which is stationary, that is not rotating, the outermost fibers on the shaft, that is the outermost upper fibers of the shaft, the fibers on the upper side of the shaft which is on the convex side of the deflection. We know that there are two sides, concave and convex. When we consider a stationary shaft and when we apply a bending load at the center, or when we apply loads at the outermost edges, then the upper surface of the shaft will be loaded in tension and the opposite side, that is the lowermost part, will be loaded in compression. Now in this state, the uppermost fiber experience tensile stress and lowermost fibers experiencing compressive stress that we have seen in the bending stress concept. Now if this shaft is rotated through 180 degree in its bearings with the load remaining the same, that is the bending load, then the shaft stress level will be same, but now the fibers which were loaded in compression before rotating the shaft, now it will experience a tension stress, and compressive stress or compressive loaded fibers will experience a tensile stress. That is known as the reversed stress or reversed stress concept, that is shown here. Tension, that is the sigma max tensile stress, and this is compressive stress. When the shaft is rotating and when it is subjected to bending load, it will show a curve like this. This is known as the completely reversed stress, tensile to compressive, compressive to tensile. That is known as the reversed stress. The stresses which vary from one value of compressive to the same value of tensile and vice versa are known as completely reversed stresses or cyclic stresses. And hence when the shaft is subjected to these repeated stresses or cyclic stresses, it falls below yield point stress value. That phenomena or this kind of failure is known as the fatigue failure. That is a failure of a component under cyclic loading. The example of fatigue failure are parts in which fatigue failures are observed are transmission shafts, means the shafts which are used for the transmission of power is known as transmission shafts. Connecting rods, we know that what is the function of connecting rod. Gears, vehicle suspension springs and ball bearings which experience the cyclic stresses, that is the stress value varies from tensile to compressive and compressive to tensile. So these are the some examples which experience the fatigue failures. The materials fails under fluctuating stresses at a stress magnitude which is lower than the ultimate tensile strength, that is the yield strength of the material. Now this fatigue failure will progress in three steps, that is crack initiation, crack propagation and fracture. So this is the concept of fatigue failure, that is the failure of the component due to the cyclic stresses at the value of stress which is lower than the ultimate tensile strength of the material or yield point stress of the material is known as the fatigue failure. Now cyclic stresses are also categorized as the three types of the stresses, that is the fluctuating stresses, repeated stresses and reversed stresses. This is the example of the reversed stress, that is completely reversed stress, tensile to compressive, compressive to tensile, and this is the very mean value of the stress, that is the 0. Now we will move towards the concept of endurance limit. What is meant by the endurance limit? An endurance limit of a material is defined as the maximum value of completely reversed bending stress, maximum value of completely reversed bending stress that the standard specimen can sustain or withstand without a failure. That means it is the maximum value of completely reversed stress. Completely reversed stress that the standard specimen can sustain or withstand without a failure for an unlimited number of cycles. Now this kind of a failure is a fatigue failure. In simple language we can say a magnitude of stress below which no fatigue failure will occur. That is known as the endurance limit value. Means when the component do not fail for a particular number of cycle below a certain value, the value at which that material fails due to completely reversed stress without a fatigue failure. Means this is the maximum value of completely reversed stress without a fatigue failure for number of cycles. Number of cycle of rotation of that component is known as the endurance limit. Since the fatigue test cannot be conducted, we cannot conduct a fatigue test for unlimited, means infinite number of cycles. Hence 10 raised to 6 these are considered as the sufficient number of cycles to define the endurance limit. Means up to these cycles, if that specimen do not fail for a value of completely reverse bending stress, that value is known as the endurance limit of that component. Now we will see how the SN curve is plotted, means endurance strength and number of cycles curve, which gives the value of endurance limit of that component. Now this is the SN curve for steel. How this curve is formulated? What is the meaning of this curve? That is the SN curve. Means stress amplitude versus stress cycle, number of cycles. Fatigue strength. Fatigue strength means endurance strength versus number of stress cycles. Endurance strength versus number of stress cycles that component will sustain. Now let's see what is meant by the SN curve. If we see the SN curve, then SN curve is plotted by taking the values of fatigue strength on y-axis and the values of number of stress cycles on x-axis. Now this curve is drawn before fatigue failure of a component on log graph paper. Now this is the log graph paper. These value are also in terms of log. These value are also in terms of log to the base 10. These values also in terms of log to the base 10. So let's see how this curve is drawn. For drawing a curve, a fatigue testing is carried out. By carrying out the fatigue testing, in a fatigue testing, what is done in fatigue testing? A standard polished specimen is taken. We have defined the endurance limit as it is the value of maximum reversed stress at which the standard specimen will sustain without fatigue failure. Hence, to draw this SN curve, a fatigue test is carried out by considering a standard specimen. This is carried out by rotating beam machine developed by a scientist R.R. Murray, what is done in this case? A beam of circular cross section is loaded between 2 points, that is a standard specimen. Now this standard specimen is loaded between 2 sides and this specimen is rotated by using an electrical motor. When the circular cross section is subjected to bending moment, means when this specimen is rotated, standard specimen is rotated, this standard specimen is subjected to bending moment. Hence it is subjected to completely reversed stress cycle, that is tensile to compressive, compressive and compressive to tensile. When this test is carried out, the number of revolutions before the appearance of first fatigue crack is recorded on revolution counter. When this specimen is rotated, when it is mounted in a fatigue testing machine, it is rotated by using electrical motor, and the number of revolutions, means value of n, number of stressed cycles, is noted before appearance of first fatigue crack on that specimen, and that value of n is recorded by using revolution counter. These readings are used as 2 coordinates for plotting a point on SN diagram. This point is called as the failure points. Now these are the failure points. These points are plotted. These are known as the failure points. Suppose at this value, this is the number of cycles and this is the value of fatigue strength, endurance strength, and by taking these points, by joining these points, we will get a nature of graph like this. This point shows the number of cycles before first appearance of crack on that polished specimen. Now if we take a look at the SN curve, we will get an idea that up to this point number of cycles goes on decreasing up to these points as the value of stress, this is the value of ultimate strength, ultimate tensile strength of the material, this value SUT, this is the value of ultimate tensile strength of the material. Now up to this point it gives finite life, means up to this in between 10 raised to 3 to 10 raised to 4, but from this it will undergo an infinite life. Now this is the value of endurance limit of that material for this number of cycles. In this way this SN curve is plotted, which gives an idea about the value of endurance limit, the value of fatigue strength of the component. For ferrous materials like steels, if we observe, the SN curve becomes straight at 10 raised to 6 cycles. At this point this curve becomes straight, which indicate the stress amplitude corresponding to infinite number of stress cycles. Now this is the point, this is the value of stress amplitude corresponding to this value, this is the stress amplitude corresponding to this 10 raised to 6 number of cycles. The non-ferrous metals like aluminum alloys, the SN curve slopes gradually even after 10 raised to 7 cycles. If we draw the SN curve for non-ferrous materials, then this SN curve will show like this. It will go down up to even up to 10 raised to 7 cycles. But in case of steel, the SN curve, ferrous metals, the SN curve shows straight line from this point. This is the point of stress value. at which the component will sustain for number of cycles. As the number of cycles goes on increasing, the stress value goes on decreasing, because at this point, this is the point above which if we increase the stress, the material will get fail. So this is the endurance strength of that material. This material will sustain a stress value, a strength value up to this point, that is the S suffix E. This is the value of that material. Now this is the ultimate strength value of that material. Actually the material has to fail at this point, but due to this reversed stress, this material fails at this value. That's why it is known as the endurance limit. This is the endurance limit. This point is the endurance limit of that material, and this is the actually strength value of that material. These are the infinite life cycles, means 10 raised to 6, above 10 raised to 6 cycles. So from this SN curve we'll get an idea what is the endurance limit of that material for a particular cycle, number of cycles. This information we get from this SN curve, that is the fatigue strength or stress value versus stress cycle curve, and this curve is drawn for the ferrous materials. So in this lecture we have understood the concept of fatigue failure, the concept of fatigue, what is meant by cyclic stress, what is meant by endurance limit, and how this SN curve is drawn. In simple language, the significance of SN curve, it gives an idea about the value of endurance limit of that material at 10 raised to 6 cycles. I hope you have understood the concept of endurance limit, how to draw SN curve. Thank you.